Let me ask you a question. You find a stock that you love, strong fundamentals, you've done the homework, you believe in it. Do you buy 100 shares or do you buy a LEAPS option that gives you nearly the same exposure for a fraction of the capital? Well, most people just buy the stock, and sometimes that's the right call, but sometimes it's not even close. Today, we're breaking down exactly when stocks beat leaps and when leaps beat stocks. And we'll also touch on covered calls versus poor man's covered calls, because once you understand the difference in capital efficiency, well, you just can't unsee it. All right, let's talk about the core difference between leaps and stock. Now, when you own 100 shares of a stock, let's call it a $200 stock, you've got $20,000 in that position. A deep in the money leaps call, say at around a 150 strike, 1 to 2 years out to expiration, might cost you $5,000, $5,500, and the leaps will move almost dollar for dollar, just like the stock. That's called a high delta option. We're talking about 80 to 90 delta. For every dollar the stock moves up, your leaps moves up 80 to 90 cents. And the question becomes then, why would you ever tie up $20,000 for 100 shares when you can get nearly the same upside exposure for $5,500? You tell me. Well, the answer is sometimes you should and sometimes you shouldn't. And that's what we're unpacking here today. All right, guys, one thing I ask, if you haven't done it already, please hit that like button down below. It really helps to get the video out to more people. So thank you very much. You're certainly welcome to subscribe as well. We're at an all-time high for subscribers. And check out the link in the free Discord. It's free for now, free for life if you get in now. You can see all my trades that I put on each and every day, including the updates that I put on. We've got a great group of like-minded traders where we chat and talk about trades and we all make money together. There will be a monthly subscription charge coming up, so get in now and you're in free for life. All right, let's talk about when stocks are actually the better play. Well, number one, if you're in a high dividend stock, leaps don't collect dividends. If a stock pays out 3, 4, or 5% annually, that income adds up. So, hey, own the shares. Now, number two, if you're holding inside a tax advantage retirement account like an IRA, the leverage from the leaps matters less here. And you want clean, long-term compounding with no expiration risk, then you can keep it simple and just stick with the stock. Now, number three, if the stock has wide bid-ask spreads on options, or illiquid options is what's that called, then that can kill your edge even before you enter the options trade. So if that is the case, then the options market on a stock is thin and you're better off just owning the stock directly. Now, number four, if you'd be uncomfortable with any scenario of total loss on the position, with stocks, you'd need the company to go to zero. With a leaps, a massive drawdown combined with time running out can wipe the option out, even if the stock eventually recovers in the long term. So you might want to think of stocks as your anchor and your certainty. You're actually owning the company when you purchase that stock, and you're not having the clock that's ticking against you over time, and that you don't have to worry about that option expiring. Right. Now let's talk about when leaps beat stocks. And yeah, this is kind of my favorite. Well, number one, capital efficiency. If you have $20,000 and you can get the same exposure to a stock for $5,500, you can run that leaps and keep $14,500 on the side. So if there is a dip in the market, you've got that capital available, or you could invest it in something else. And that diversification and flexibility is definitely a benefit. Now, number two, you're defining your max loss. With 100 shares of a $200 stock, if it gets cut in half, you're down 10 grand. Now with a leaps, your max loss is capped at what you pay for that option up front, so you know your max loss. Now, number three, the leaps are the engine of the poor man's covered call. If you want to sell covered calls every month, which we're about to get into, then the leaps give you that ability, same as owning the stock. You've got the same ability to sell that short call against it at a fraction of the cost of owning the 100 shares outright. And then lastly, number 4, the math of capital deployment. At 80 to 90 delta, you're getting most of the upside of owning that stock outright. And the capital, you're not tying up the rest of that capital, so it can be working elsewhere. Right, now let's talk a little bit about the specifics of the leaps option that you're buying, because people ask me, Darren, how far out do you go on your leaps and how deep in the money do you go? And here's what I've found and how I think about it. 1-year leaps cost less, but they have more time decay risk, especially if the stock goes sideways for, say, 6 months, and then you're left with the leaps that only has 6 months runway, and the time value of that starts hitting you. So I like to roll out at about 180 days. So I prefer a 2-year leaps if possible. So I look at the 1 year and the 2 year, compare the two prices. And if the 2 year is not that much more, or 1.5 years, then I'll pay, a couple $100 more to move it out a whole nother year. That it's not like it's twice as much. So that's normally the case. It's a couple $100, and it gives you that, the length of time to be right. And stocks that I'm buying poor man's covered calls in, they're stocks that I believe in heavily and I want to own them for the long term, or have that option for the long term. So my general preference is closer to 2 years. Get the premium from the monthly calls every month, and have that runway to the upside. Now, on the depth, I prefer to target at least the 65, 70, preferably the 70 to 80 delta, if possible, 65 to 80 maybe. That means the strike is typically at 70, you're quite a bit, you're typically like 15 to 25% below the current stock price. Now, below 70 delta, you're not getting enough stock-like exposure, and above 85, you're really paying so much for the intrinsic value that you're tying up more capital than you really need to. So I like 70 to 85 delta, closer to 2 years out. I think that's the sweet spot for most poor man covered call setups. All right, let's talk real quick about the difference between covered calls and poor man's covered calls, and then I'll show you an example and the difference live on the trading platform. So a traditional covered call, you own 100 shares, you sell a call against them, you collect a premium. You know exactly what your cap is if the stock gets called away. It works. It's a great strategy, but on a $200 stock, you need $20,000 in order to place that trade. A poor man's covered call does the exact same thing with one difference. Instead of the 100 shares on the long position, you sell a deep in the money, or you buy a deep in the money leaps call. You still collect the same premium by selling the short call against it, but instead of needing $20,000, you might need $5,500. So let's jump on the platform and I'll show you. All right, guys, here we are on the Tasty Trade platform. Check out the link below. Benefits if you go through my link. Now, let's look at AMD. This is one of my favorite plays right now. I've actually got a poor man's covered call on right now. I'm 273 days out. But right now, if I were to put a new one on, I would go closer to 2 years, 1 to 2 years. But I think there's going to be a big move up. It's going to continue to move up. If you look at the, it just did have a big move up. It's at the top of the Bollinger Band right now, 280. But again, my target for it's going to be a $300 stock in no time. And we've got the 50-day moving average trending above the 200. So you might want to wait a little until there's a little pullback if it comes, but I like it long term. Here's what I would do is I would go out. Let's look at the 518 days, September of 2027. Ooh, that's let's see. Let's go out 600 days. Okay, 9,000. Wow, they're kind of expensive, but let's look at 400 days. Okay, we can look at them all. But we can go 260. We can go the 67. We got the 69 delta. Let's do the 250 and go 69 delta. That gives us almost a 70%, a 30, 69 delta. So basically 70%, just like owning the stock. So if we're going to buy it, it's $8,500 for the 250. Boom. Now, 84.55 is the mid price. Now, if we look at this expiration, we can compare the pricing for going further out. So we're 426 days. If we move out to 518, so another 100 days, we're at 93 or 9240. 9240 versus 8500. So for another $700, we can go out 100 days. So it just depends on when you think that will happen. But again, I've got no problem with the 336 at 7650 or anything after a year. It just depends on how quickly you think it's going to move up. But let's go stick with the 426 days, and 84.55 is the cost. So if we go to curve mode and analysis, you can see just like owning the stock outright, as it increases in value, your option increases as well, and you make more return on equity with the leverage of the option. Now, so 8,500. Now, if we clear this off, and that's your max loss right here, max loss 84.55. Now, clear. Now, if we were to buy the stock outright, then we go to stock long go, and it's 200. Look at that. The price is 277. So your buying power, the max loss is $27,000. So you're much more subjected to losing more. Although I don't think AMD is going to zero, but you can lose 27,000. So it's not defined risk like the leaps. Well, it is. If it goes to zero, you lose it all. But you can write the same calls against it every month by utilizing the leaps. So that's why I like the leaps for stocks like AMD. There's no dividend, so with that case, I like the leaps much better because it's just more capital efficient. So what I would do is, again, let's go out to the 426 days, and we were going to say the 250, 84.35. Now, what I like about it is, watch this. We go back to the table mode, close those off. We're already at 20 days. I like to go 30 to 45 days, but I'm going to go out to 62 just to collect more premium. We'll look at the difference. But at 28 days, let's see what we can collect. We can go, wow, we can go all the way up to the 320 strike and collect $500. Why not do that? So let's see what we can collect at 320 out further. June at 320, we collect 1,100. Yee, I like that. You can collect double. So I like that. Or 895 at 330. Either one. I like those two. So if we collect basically $1,000, watch this. As soon as we hit that, it's going to subtract it from the price here. Boom. 73.42. We can collect $1,000 every month, basically. We pay that off in 7 months. And then we basically have the time after that controlling 100 shares of stock for free. That's the way I look at it. But that's what I love about it. Same, works exactly the same as a covered call. It's just more capital efficient. So that's the difference between a poor man's covered call, utilizing the leaps, and a covered call. It's just less capital outlay up front, and you can still collect that monthly premium every month. So you hit review and send and place the trade. So what's the best setup, stocks or leaps? Well, let's break it down. I use stocks when I want dividends, when I'm in a retirement account sometimes, although I'll use leaps as well. And where leverage doesn't add a big value, then I'll use stocks. But the options market, if it's illiquid, then leaps are better, or stock is better for me, not leaps. If the market's illiquid, then it's a no-brainer. I just go stocks. Now, I use leaps when I want capital efficiency and I'm running that poor man's covered call strategy to generate the monthly income. And if I want defined risk on a high conviction or high volatility type name, and I use both often. I like to have a core position in a stock long term and maybe a dividend stock. And then I use leaps for exposure on the names when I really want that upside potential without really committing as much capital. So there's also specific stocks that favor each approach. Now, stocks with strong dividends, high institutional ownership, and low options volume, then owning the shares makes more sense. But high growth, no dividends, and illiquid options, then definitely leaps. So always do the homework no matter which way you go. Read the conference calls, know the fundamentals, the charts, and then you choose your weapon of choice. All right, guys, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on these stocks and what you're trading now. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and join the free Discord linked in the pinned comment down below. It's free now, free for life if you get in now. There will be a monthly charge coming up, so make sure to get in now. Be sure and watch this next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.